Hello, all, and welcome to the Bharat Army podcast, episode number 5. I've got Crick Crazy Nicks with me. Recently made friends with him on a different podcast, and I absolutely love his knowledge because हम दोनों ने multiple debates किए थे, and I lost all of them. But it was really fun getting those insights from you, Nikhil. Uh, but एक हफ्ते बाद कौन सा season start होने वाला है?
Yeah, India's favorite festival.
Yes.
Yes, India's favorite
Yeah.
festival. I think it's a very, it's something that you always want. It's like their favorite toy.
Oh, yeah.
If you're an Indian cricket fan,
Yeah.
and I'm still one of those, old school who's like, yeah, I want to back all teams. But yeah, of course, there will be some teams who
Yeah.
will back more than the other.
Yeah.
But
So, which
yeah,
is that team for you?
it's hard to look past MS in
Yeah.
that aspect.
Yeah.
So that again, the yellow back
Yeah.
and here also just probably gives it away. But
Yeah.
yeah, CSK a bit, and then everybody's on the same page there.
Absolutely. And before we actually focus on on IPL, which is about to begin, let's just quickly look back at the Bazball showdown which happened a week ago, and we completely demolished and destroyed them. Is it fair to
Yeah.
say Bazball has been buried for good? कि खत्म अभी इसके आगे they won't risk it because I thought last match में they didn't go for Bazball, they just surrendered completely.
Yeah, I think that is well put in
Yeah,
terms of the entire idea is now being questioned.
huh,
And while England
rightly
will
so.
while England will tell you 100 things that why it isn't,
Huh,
but I think that's probably just tells you the strength and the depth of Indian cricket.
yeah,
That in at many points in the series
huh.
you felt under pressure, but that India were able to find answers. I think goes
Yeah,
a long way in telling that you can name whatever you want to. Eventually, you have to play the situation. I think that is
absolutely.
something
Yeah.
India showed very, very well. So very, very happy for Rohit Rahul and the entire squad. To be very
Yeah,
honest,
yeah.
it's a very tough series.
Very rightly said, bro. I think situation के हिसाब से खेलना is very important, and that is
Yeah,
something basketball is missing. मतलब मेरा एक ही issue है. I agree that it's a different way of playing, but अगर 100 रन ही चाहिए एक पूरा दिन है and you have hardly 2 wickets, you don't need basketball. You need to play sensible cricket. टिक के खेलो. उड़ाओगे तो
yeah,
आउट हो जाओगे, टिकोगे तो जीत जाओगे. I think
yeah,
that's where they're missing out on that concept. But ठीक है, जो गया वो गया. अभी जो आने वाला है, it's going to be a
yeah,
fantastic season, not just from a cricketing standpoint, but from a meme standpoint. क्या क्या
yeah.
होने वाला है, we can just imagine right from the start. Very first game is going to be RCB versus CSK. So what do you make of it? It's your derby, right? The South Indian derby, Southern derby is what you call it. Yeah,
Yeah, and RCB CSK Chepauk doesn't have good memories for a lot of RCB fans. So I'll
yeah,
just hope that it doesn't change.
yeah,
But very, very excited to see a few big guns back. I
yeah,
think we haven't seen Virat in a while, and you
yeah.
don't say it very often.
Another
Yeah.
thing that we are waiting to see is Rajasthan Royals win another trophy, dude. It has been super long time. पहला सीजन जीते थे उसके बाद से
Uh,
पूरे गायब है.
which
This
is why
auction,
which
yeah,
is why when you said Rajasthan Royals win another trophy, it
yeah.
took me a while to understand. अच्छा
कब हुआ
another
था?
trophy भाई बहुत
Yeah.
टाइम हो गया यार.
The OG IPL viewers know कि शुरुआत वहीं से हुई थी.
Correct.
But do you think this season? So for me, I'll tell you. Initially, they were good. Over the
Yeah,
years, there was a downfall, but then they really picked themselves up. I think to some
yeah.
extent, उन्होंने MI का template follow किया, where they actually
Mm,
go for youngsters, groom them. चाहे
yeah.
चेतन सकारिया हो, Rihan Parag ho. But the jokes apart,
Yeah.
on a serious, they have actually groomed youngsters and they have done well. So do you think this auction के बाद they would be very much satisfied?
Yeah, I think, and I agree with the point about Riyan Parag as well. I think he's probably one phenomenon where I
Yeah,
think we don't give enough credit to that spot and
yeah,
what that spot demands. So,
fair.
to fulfill that spot, the Indian team has taken a decade to find somebody like a KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer for that spot.
हाँ,
So it just
right.
tells you that वो spot इतना easy नहीं है. So I
हाँ,
think in terms of RR, you rightly put, there are a few very big names in
yeah.
terms of Josh Butler, Chahal, Ashwin, but then there is Jaiswal, who's probably
Hmm.
just. I just feel this could be his season,
Oh
and
yeah, dude.
you'll hear his name maybe a lot
Yeah,
more time in this podcast as well.
yeah.
In when it comes to predictions, but I think for this very edition. I'm looking forward to how Sanju bats because
Oh yes.
a
Okay.
lot of
T20
RR.
World Cup. Oh God,
Yes,
yes.
so
Yeah.
a lot of RR I feel at times is Butler, Chahal,
Hmm.
Ashwin's, and all
Right,
of that.
right, right.
But I think it's about time Sanju has that season where he's
Yeah.
like everybody's just shutting up and watching him bat. Because
Huh.
when he gets going,
Yeah.
it is impossible to not like him. So
Absolutely.
I think that's the one thing that I'm looking forward to. And
Yeah.
in terms of the auction,
Hmm.
I think slightly hampered by the Prasidh Krishna injury, which puts a lot of
Very
pressure.
recent injury. Yeah.
Yeah, Sindh and Avesh then
Oh God.
becomes a
Yeah.
very, very
Big.
good
Huh.
trade in also.
Huh.
And then I'm looking forward to how Shubham Dubey
True,
goes.
Avesh also, to be honest, I like the way he bowls, but then
Yeah.
uska line on length is something that he has to work on. Basically, accuracy is what I would put it under.
Uh,
He's good यार, पेस अच्छा है, बाउंस अच्छा डालता
yeah.
है, but then थोड़ा सिचुएशन के हिसाब से ठंडा रख और एक्यूरेटली डाल. Executed well is what we want because
Yeah.
we it's high time, dude. बुमराह के बाद we don't have a bowler for Indian setup जिसके ऊपर हम लोग रिलाई करेंगे. अर्शदीप was there for a while,
Yeah.
प्रसिद्ध था, but injuries. शिवम मावी I used to like, but पता नहीं क्या हो गया. But I think Avesh has got what it takes, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's still a long time. I mean, he has to really step up right now.
Yeah, and I think
Weakness, yeah, yeah.
this possibly, just to add to that point, I think the setup might also help Avish, where if he's around Ashwin, Chahal, Bolt,
Yeah,
it's a very good bowling group to be
group.
around to know, okay, this is where I can probably try and bowl and
Right.
all of that. So I think that is
Yeah,
probably that can help him this season.
yeah.
Let's see.
अगर कुछ वीकनेस पे फोकस करना होगा तो क्या क्या होगा अकॉर्डिंग टू यू?
I think it's the middle order. I think ever since
ओके.
ever since Miller is
हाँ.
gone, I kind of feel it's very tricky to have
हाँ,
Parag, Shimran,
yeah.
and
मतलब
Samson, all of them clubbed together.
there's no guarantee कि सब खेलेंगे या क्लिक हो गए. I think
हाँ,
that's the problem. So
it's very high variance. Click हो गए तो
हाँ,
you will be like, "अरे wow!" Now
हाँ.
they'll single-handedly take it away. But
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they don't, then they'll single-handedly go the other way around as well. So I think
हाँ.
Dhruv Jurel, in that sense, could really use this recent
Yeah,
form
dude.
very,
Yeah,
very nicely. And again, you have Shubham Dubey, who they've gotten from the auction. So I think he's
yeah.
someone I'm looking forward to. But
Who's going to be the
weakness,
X factor? Yeah, sorry, yeah, weakness. Go on.
yeah, weakness. I think that middle order is where I
That's the
feel,
weakness. Yeah,
yeah,
inconsistent middle order is or
inconsistent.
unreliable middle order.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
If you have to pick an X factor from this team, who could be the X factor for this season for them? Who would it be? Jaiswal?
Yeah, I think Jaiswal would be the first
Yeah.
name that you'd want to say,
Mhm.
but I'll go a step forward and go all
Okay.
Jai Mata Di where say Riyan Parag will be that guy.
What? Dude, if this thing happens, you will be like Paul the Octopus. Like he
Hopefully.
predicted it out of nowhere.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah, hopefully, dude. I think, I mean, I really want Riyan Parag to do well,
Yeah,
not just on social media, but on the ground as well. And he has got what it takes.
yeah,
So fingers crossed for Riyan Parag
hopefully.
and RR fans. I'm sure all RR fans will be hoping for that as well. So let's see if you have to rate out of 10 this team, the squad, and their performance. What would that be? 7? I think I'll go for a 7.
Yeah, I think it's probably fair. I was
Yeah.
probably going for 6.5, kind of,
Acha, you're going for.
because of the number of
Yeah.
untested youngsters that are there now.
Ha,
Untested youngsters, say, I mean, Avish will have a lot of pressure on him now.
right.
Yes, Dhruv Jurel has had a great time, but then
Mhm.
different format, different pressure. Then you
Yeah.
have Samson, who hasn't always quite clicked in Butler's form.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
a lot of those factors. So I think 7 is probably fair then.
7 on 10 is your rating. Let's see. Viewers,
Yeah,
आप लोग comment करो, आप बताओ if you have
yeah,
to give a rating to Rajasthan Royals का current team and their performance, what would that be? We
yeah,
are going for 7 on 10 and we have agreed upon this. Moving on to a team which I feel have let IPL fans down a lot lately is SRH because I really felt Sunrisers Hyderabad had got what it takes to be a champion team. There was a phase जब they were dominant, especially under Warner and Kane Williamson, जहां पर MICS को अगर एक टीम टक्कर दे रही है, that used to be SRH.
yeah.
But what happened? I think the mega auction derailed their entire plans, right? Rashid chala gaya, Bairstow gaya, Warner के साथ fall out हुआ. Is that what has been hampering them?
Yeah, I think the one thing that I feel with
Yeah.
SRH is they've probably lost identity. That
Hmm.
is something, if you can say, when Warner was the skipper there,
Ha.
you knew what is the kind of team that SRH is and what to
Yeah.
expect. So
Ha.
it was a bowling heavy side. It still is in that
Yeah.
essence, but you knew that okay, Warner is the guy who's
Mhm.
probably going to bat probably deep, and then he'll have other people
Yeah.
to click from time to time.
Right.
And that coupled with Williamson at times, Bairstow at times, it looked all
Yes.
rosy.
Ha.
And then
Yeah.
that's what
There was
mega auctions
Priyam Garg
does.
as well, dude. I remember those days. Priyam Garg. There used to be Abhishek Sharma used to chip in.
KL
And,
Rahul came from Deccan Chargers days, from
oh.
SRH days. If you know,
Yeah.
that's where he began. So I
Yeah.
think this year also SRH, they've probably gone into the क्या बोलते हैं,
Mhm.
vibe shopping with Travis said.
Yeah.
With see
And
Pat
comments, dude.
Com-
Yeah.
Cummins, see, I sincerely wanted RCB to get stuck with Cummins, but okay, that's to
Get
discuss
stuck
when we
with
get.
Cummins as in what? You don't think Cummins will do that well?
No. When if RCB had taken Cummins for that amount, then what would have they done in
Ha.
the
Okay,
auction?
that way, yeah.
That way. So
That would have been fun
use
to see, yeah.
exactly. So how
Yeah.
how do you then build your squad with the
Yeah.
limited remaining purse? But I think see Pat Cummins, you feel they probably wanted a captain, very clear about it. That
Ha.
I don't know if I
Dude,
don't agree
Markram,
with that call.
Aiden Markram, he was there. I mean,
100%.
हाँ,
I think I've probably
SA20 जिता
covered
दिया यार अभी. हाँ.
I've probably covered Aiden Markram's entire journey from under 19 cricket when he won it. I was doing text commentary for that very game.
Oh
So it
wow.
feels very
Okay.
personal
Yeah,
whenever
yeah, yeah.
Markram does good or bad. So I think
Yeah.
it
So
was
you were
there.
the Ravi Shastri for Markram तभी under 19 World Cup
Well,
में.
that's a very
Yeah.
big name to live up to. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think with SA20 also it felt
Yeah.
that this is probably just right for Markram. But I
Uh,
think given that they've already spent so much on Cummins, you saw that last year as well. When they spent so much on Brook, they just
yeah.
wanted to show कि भाई
Utilize him कि हाँ
हाँ कि
वसूल करना है, निचोड़ना
कहाँ
है पूरा. हाँ.
कहीं से तो भाई कुछ वैल्यू रिटर्न आ जाए.
हाँ.
So I think Cummins is still okay, but the pick of
हम्म.
Travis Head really messes up the combination क्योंकि you can't drop
Yeah.
Klassen. You will definitely need Vanindu and Pat Cummins.
हम्म.
तो अब
Who
तो
would be the
यानसेन भी
four overseas dude? Like when you said, I'm just thinking कि चार overseas कौन होने वाले हैं?
so Cummins,
It's Cummins.
Hasaranga,
हाँ.
Klassen definitely खेलेगा. So I think the fourth is the point there you say
Okay.
that Travis said, see they have Abhishek Sharma. I don't see the need to play Travis Head and you could
Right.
simply just open with Abhishek
Yeah.
Sharma and have Markram at 4 and 5. But then he didn't have a great series last time. And
Maybe a
where
crunch situation, you would prefer a Travis Head over a Abhishek Sharma. Like अगर semis है, finals है, जहाँ पर कि you cannot mess this up.
if it
Cool headed में.
was
Yeah.
if it was other format, yeah, क्योंकि Cummins ने T20
अच्छा
में तो अब तक
हाँ.
नहीं किया है. ODI
हाँ.
yes, but
Yeah.
WTC yes. So,
हाँ.
but I think this is again a great chance for Travis to really
हम्म.
set the tone.
Yeah.
In terms of wanting to hire that guy,
Yeah.
in terms of consistency. So, it's a can of worms. क्योंकि
Yeah.
there are overseas who go into any side. You have Faruqi there, you have Glenn
हाँ.
Phillips there, and Glenn Phillips is coming off great form as well.
Yeah.
So, but that is that overseas पे बहुत pressure होगा यहाँ पे.
Yeah. So that's a weakness according to. I think choosing the right
Yes,
combination is the
combination.
biggest weakness for SRH right now,
Yeah,
and especially the management that they've had. I think
yeah,
they it's really a big task upon them. Who would be
yeah.
the X factor in this season?
I think Klassen, it's very, very hard to
Hmm.
not say Klassen because we saw that in
Yeah.
the SA20 as well. Some impossible knocks
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
terms of I kept tweeting, he's like he's playing a video game. कि ये आगे
Yeah.
अपना video game
क्रिकेट
लेके
में
आए.
सेवन खेलते
फिर
बैठा है.
हाँ, बस shift
Yeah.
control just चलते जाओ जहाँ
शिफ्ट
जहाँ.
कंट्रोल. यार मेरा वो कोर मेमोरी ट्रिगर हो गया उस पे. लाइक
हाँ,
खेलते जाओ कीबोर्ड पे.
correct.
But yeah, I think that has to be
Yeah,
that's going to be your X factor, right?
yeah. I
If
think
you have to, yeah.
that and
Mhm.
just looking forward to how Cummins captains because very,
Hmm.
very different role.
Yeah, but I
So
feel
yeah,
especially with overseas players, captaincy का जो battle होगा, it won't be as difficult when it comes to ego clashes. Yeah, people management. I don't think Markram would have any issues कि अरे Cummins को क्यों दिया? Or even
yeah, yeah,
Cummins would be like, hey, I'm over you right now. So that won't happen with them. And
yeah,
I hope that is being sorted. अगर environment अच्छा है team में, then that would solve most of SRH के problems.
yeah.
But let's see what happens during the season. Where do you think they'll finish in the points table? Top four? Difficult, actually.
Yeah, I think even if
Fifth,
like
sixth. Yeah.
yeah, but the team rating is probably fair in terms of where they're likely to finish. Probably 6, 7.
Oh God,
Uh,
okay. हाँ.
क्योंकि
Yeah.
it's very high variance. Mayank is in
Hmm.
again. Mayank and
If you
Tripathi had
हाँ.
uh,
अगर
kind
खेल
of
गए तो
mixed.
बहुत नहीं तो कुछ
हाँ,
नहीं. हाँ.
हाँ. So
It's
it's a mix, and then you cap it with Travis head up top,
yeah.
and then the bowling that they have. So
Hmm.
it could go either ways in that sense. So
Yeah.
थोड़ा conservative side पे 6, 7 is probably where they'll finish,
Yeah.
and it's also the team rating.
So what is it? 6 or 7 team rating? Let's go for 6. I think RR को 7 दे रहा है.
हाँ,
Then
हाँ, तो
SRH
yeah,
needs to be 6 according to me, based on the
yeah,
RR का strength.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah.
would
I
say.
think the Indian
Yeah.
contingent is also
Yeah.
that high variance in terms of क्या
Hmm.
पता कैसे चलेंगे. तो yeah, 6 I
Yeah.
think is fair.
Cool. Next team could be Gujarat Titans, dude. I think that is one team which is going to be like अभी हमें करके दिखाना है, because the captain is out. He's in a different team right now, and Shubman Gill. I think
Yeah,
Shubman Gill, I as a fan felt betrayed जब KKR ने गिल को retain नहीं किया. How could you not do that to him, dude? I get it कि I think Venkatesh Iyer was the player who
Hmm.
had done really well,
Yeah.
and they had went for him. But then, come on, Gill is Gill. And you think at the helm he would do really well? I feel he's got what it takes.
Yeah, I think personally, I felt whenever all the entire saga happened about
Yeah.
player going here and there, and then Gill becoming the captain, I think there are some things that are destiny, and I think this
Yeah.
probably feels destiny with Gill that
Yeah.
he comes out from KKR, plays in Gujarat,
As a dream season.
has a
Yeah.
dream season, and then next very season,
Yeah.
somehow he finds himself in the captaincy. I think
Yeah.
this could potentially 2024 could be the season of Gill
Mm.
because there are very less expectations in
Hmm,
terms
hmm,
of
hmm. Yeah.
no Hardik, no Shami.
Right.
Those are very big shoes to fill. So
Exactly.
if from here, if Gill is
Yeah.
able to conjure something with Nehraji, then I
Yeah.
think it could go a long way in branding Gill what he is
Ha.
already.
But I think fair to say that Gill would be the X factor in this season for Gujarat Titans. I
I
think.
have
Yeah.
I have a slight
Or Rashid.
Afghan. I
Yeah.
have slight
Yeah.
not with Rashid.
Oh, then
That
who?
Azmatullah Umar Sir. I really
Okay.
enjoyed the guy
Yeah.
from his starting days, and I feel
Hmm.
if again it's not possible to replace Hardik in that sense,
Yeah.
but if there is somebody who they can use with the new ball now that there is
Hmm.
no Shami, then
Hmm.
Azmat could really be the guy who bats at four and
Okay.
then takes the new ball. And there
Yeah.
might not be many who might expect him to come good, but
Yeah.
then this could very well be
I
the
think
season for that.
surprise element तो उसके पास
Yeah,
रहेगा.
surprise element.
Yeah, I
Exactly,
think there's
exactly.
less data research
Yeah,
available on him, so that
yeah,
there's an element of mystery around it.
yeah,
So it could be fun watching him do well. If you have
yeah.
to predict their position, again finalist. I think उनको आदत ही हो गया ना 2 सीजन खेले दोनों finals. Yeah,
Yeah, finalist. It might need a
yeah.
bumper season for Gil Miller and Omarzai
Hmm.
for that to happen. But I
Okay.
think they have a very. It could go either way.
Yeah.
2 seasons. People have people
They've
have
not
written
been the
off
best
Gujarat.
team, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
somehow they just rise to the occasion.
Yeah. So they'll probably. I think they could just be the team who either gets in because of run rate, or misses out because of run rate. So I
Okay.
think they could probably finish
Next to
fifth.
Rajasthan Royals. Yeah.
Yeah, possibly fifth in that order.
अगर अगर एक रेटिंग देना होगा तो again 5. No, I think they deserve
I
7 or something.
I think I'll probably stick with 7 because they
Yeah.
have a lot of pedigree with Gill,
Hmm.
and Saha plays a very underrated role. Quick starts.
Hmm.
It just sets the tone for Gill, and then you have Miller, Rashid, Mohit, and they have Noor Ahmed as well, and they have
Yeah.
Spencer Johnson. So the 7 probably might feel thoda ज़्यादा, but that's also 1 point due to
6.5
Nehraj.
चलो हाँ.
हाँ, तो नेहरा जी की वजह से मैं 0.5 बढ़ा के 7 करता हूँ. Okay,
Yeah.
he's someone who I really think has come good in
Yeah.
terms of the usage of players. So I
हाँ हाँ
think
हाँ हाँ.
that is somewhere I'll probably give
Yeah.
them that extra point.
And especially I like how बाकी सारे teams लैपटॉप और पूरा डेटा का ही लेके बैठ जाते हैं. He just pen paper and नारियल पानी लेके
Naral
घूमता रहता है.
Pani, short,
And was
एकदम.
sorted. And would like I even like how he tries to be. I don't know. It's natural to him. He becomes like a
Yeah,
football manager. वो boundary पे
yeah,
खड़ा है and
boundary.
he's
Yeah,
giving ये कर वो कर सब कुछ.
yeah.
And every other manager is just noting down कि मैच के बाद बताता हूँ. नेहरा is like नहीं मैं अभी
अबे
बताऊंगा.
बता.
Yeah.
Correct.
But yeah, that's your rating. X Factor, you picked
Omar
Omar
Zai,
Abdullah.
Omar Zai. Yeah,
Fair enough. ठीक है. Moving on to the next team, which has become a force to reckon with lately, that's Delhi Capitals across other franchise leagues as well. WPL की बात करें, IL T20 की बात करें, DC has come good, and Rishabh Pant is back.
yeah,
I mean, everyone is happy about this. Everyone, I think it has been a beautiful story to be honest.
yeah,
But I really hope he performs well and gets a chance in the World T20 as well. I don't want him to, overdo something and get
uh,
injured again.
yeah.
Aram se khel lo. We know what you're capable of, but
Correct.
make sure you're available for the World T20. What's your take on this?
You took the name and I get goosebumps
Yeah.
in terms of all
हाँ,
I can hear is that Bharat Army slogan where it goes, "We've got fun."
हाँ.
There is not one day when I hear it and I don't rhyme it all the day long. Because
Yeah.
it's
It's
there are
like addictive. Yeah.
yeah, and it is there are some players who you just enjoy watching. They can make the child inside you come out and say, "Kya khela yaar?"
Yeah.
That whether it is that six to Nathan Lyon or is the reverse lap to James Anderson
Yeah.
to do, and not many people know he was bossing Mustafizur when everybody was
Yeah.
scared. Okay, how do you pick the cutter? He's like,
हाँ,
"अरे
हाँ,
क्या
हाँ.
cutter, stand में जाओ, देखो किधर जा रहा है." So I
Yeah.
think that's what you get with youth. But again, I think
Mhm.
this return could really define how long and how far he
Yeah.
goes in terms of he's also got a lot of perspective
Mhm.
now. So I
Yeah.
think that could possibly also
Yeah.
we can see in whether he captains,
Yeah.
because the side will need that. They are
Yeah.
missing quite a few players in terms of
Mhm.
middle order has always been a problem for them.
Yeah.
You have
Do
stubs.
you think Yash Dhul would get a chance this season?
They already have, I don't know, 1800 openers. So, so,
Yeah.
so I
Fair to
think,
say that. Yeah.
yeah. So you have Shaw, Warner, Marsh, and they can
Many.
all bat up top.
Yeah.
So
No, but then why not try him down the order as well? Like these youngsters are good to adapt as well.
yeah,
It's
but then
like,
see, you
yeah.
have Stubbs, you have Pan batting at 4. You'll probably have
Ha.
Stubbs at 5, and then you have Kumar Kushagra, who they've invested in very, very well.
Ha.
So I think then, और फिर अक्षर पटेल तो है ही.
अक्सर भी है,
I
ललित
mean,
यादव है. This.
हमने
हाँ.
अक्सर अक्सर की बैटिंग के बारे में बोला है कि यूज नहीं किया जाती. तो
हाँ,
अगर अगर अक्सर की बैटिंग यूज़ नहीं हो रही है, तो फिर यश-दूल को नीचे
Yazuka.
खिलाओगे तो शायद
Hmm.
मे बी एज़ इम्पैक्ट प्लेयर इफ यू
Oh
समटाइम्स
yeah,
फील
we didn't consider that point
yeah,
actually.
so if
Yeah,
maybe in that role
situation
some
के हिसाब से
situational base, yeah,
there's a chance.
completely. Yeah,
Fair
yeah,
to say.
outside
So,
chance.
so what would be the biggest? I think their batting order has to be the biggest advantage or strength this season, right?
Yeah,
Deadly batting. Warner, Mitchell Marsh, Shaw. If Shaw does well, I
yeah,
think they've got it sorted. I think एक दो season पहले वही problem था कि Shaw was not getting off the mark.
yeah,
Uh, but if he does well, and I think now Shaw has to like it's getting late right now. If he doesn't step up in
yeah.
this season, I think it's almost done and dusted for him.
There are too many competitors now who are
Yeah,
just climbing through the ranks, not even like,
yeah, just
forcing their door.
they've
So,
established here. There are someone like Ishan Kishan is
yeah,
finding it difficult to make it to the playing 11
correct.
or even the squad as well because of
Yeah,
Jaiswal and others, Gill,
yeah,
वगैरह.
yeah.
So no idea what happens. What would be the weakness?
I think the bowling,
Again,
uh,
Shaw. Acha, okay, bowling. Yeah,
yeah, I think the bowling with see Kuldeep is someone that I was going to name as the potential
Mhm.
X factor with Rishabh.
Yeah.
That his second coming has been very very good in terms of he's
Mhm.
been able to take wickets across phases. So that is something that
Yeah,
you would really love as
yeah,
a side. But then no, Nokia is coming back from a layoff. Mukesh, Khalil. Now they've had their great moments and
yeah.
phases. But then see, as a bowling unit,
It needs to click.
you're not scared. You're not scared
Mhm.
to say, okay,
Yeah.
Aksar, Kuldeep, Khalil, Nokia, Mukesh.
Individually they are like हाँ
हाँ,
चलो decent है but अगर
yeah,
मुझे एक lineup बनानी है out of the bowlers I wouldn't pick them as one unit.
potentially, yes. हाँ.
हाँ.
So maybe that's where we might see how
Mhm.
much Warner and Pant can combine this as a unit to click
Yeah.
because I think the sum will here have to be bigger. Because
Mhm.
individually, I don't know how much
Who
in
would
terms
take
of
the
that.
lead in the bowling attack?
If
I'm actually worried about this.
yeah, if Nokia is fit, then I think
Nokia has to be the one.
yeah, he
हाँ.
probably leads that.
Yeah.
If he isn't, then I think it's a lot of problem then
Big
because
problem. Yeah.
uh, थोड़ा lack of experience
Yeah.
नहीं हो जाएगा, but it's a different
हाँ.
leadership group,
Right.
when you have to lead your attack.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
spin department, maybe I don't foresee Kuldeep to be leading the spin attack. I think he might be the leading wicket taker in spinning. But अगर जैसे अश्विन जैसे charge lead करना है, I don't foresee Kuldeep to be the one.
Yeah, and sometimes I also find Delhi ka usage thoda tricky in terms of, I mean, all we remember and love Lalit Yadav for all his heroics, but
Oh,
sometimes you kind of
yeah.
feel ke, entry point and all of these are all
हाँ,
very
हाँ, हाँ.
minute things sometimes when they can have a bigger impact. So
Hmm.
that usage, Kuldeep will
Yeah.
definitely bowl four, but when
हाँ.
he bowls and
Yeah,
how
yeah,
he
he will.
bowls,
Yeah.
so when he bowls, how he bowls will be very, very
Hmm,
important.
hmm, hmm. Let's say if you have to give a rating to this team, DC, where would you put them?
I'll probably put it six,
6. Okay. थोड़ा harsh
uh,
लग रहा है.
harsh, but because
Yeah.
see, now
Consistency is the problem.
Shaw
Yeah.
isn't always
Yeah.
consistent. Same
Hmm.
as Mitch Marsh. Now Mitch Marsh can
Correct.
have
हाँ, dude. He
Mitch
can
Marsh
have
will
a dream
yeah,
season or be
वो
like ये क्यों क्या कर रहे टीम में. हाँ.
exactly. So and then the Pant is just coming back, and then Tristan
हाँ.
Stubbs in the Kotla ke wickets.
Yeah.
जैसे हमने देखे, they will play a few games in
Hmm,
Vizag.
hmm, hmm.
So the entire batting lineup is very high variance. And उसके बाद if you
Yeah.
add the inexperience of the bowling in terms of as a pack,
Hmm, hmm,
so
hmm.
it feels थोड़ा individual.
Yeah.
There will be in few more leaders. अगर वो एक बार हो जाता है, so
Yeah.
they might be in a better shape going ahead.
Fair to say. So your rating would be 6 on 10
Yeah,
for DC.
potential. Yeah, potential
Okay.
ज़्यादा है, but
Ha. To be
conservatively
safe,
six.
yeah, it
Yeah,
is 6 on 10.
yeah.
Next team, I think the whole topic of discussion during IPL is RCB. And we haven't even cracked a joke, but we're laughing already. So it's RCB. But I feel it's high time, dude. 15 saal, 16 saal ho gaye. They have to win a cup and do it for Virat Kohli. He has given you everything, and it's time for the team to rise up to the occasion and be like, Virat, this one's for you. What do you say of this?
Yeah, I mean, it's like that Sarfaraz quote. My answer is the same. Nothing difference. क्योंकि
Yeah.
yeah, and you can't even put a finger into in terms of कि भाई this is I will always say कि bowling isn't the great, but I
Hmm.
think that's probably the only caveat that they have कि
Ha.
the batting has always been there.
Yeah.
I don't think the batting has ever been a problem in terms
Never.
of
Huh.
uh,
Here, batting has not
prowess.
been a problem. The problem is these people rely a lot on ABD, Kohli, Faf, like the likes of
The
the
big
top order,
names.
I would say.
Yeah,
Huh.
the big
The
names. So,
heavyweights. Huh.
so this could potentially then be a very good season for Rajat and
Hmm.
Green to have a bumper season of sorts, and DK
Yeah.
possibly playing his last,
Oh,
and
yes.
most likely playing his last. So that
Yeah.
is now if these three can take the load
Yeah.
of Kohli, Faf, and Maxwell,
Yeah.
that
They
could
have
really
to.
help. And invariably the bowling that they have, they'll have to do it. because
Mhm.
just the other day I was looking at a graphic which said
Uh,
economy in the last overs, last 4 overs, everybody was about 10. मतलब
हाँ,
10 तो ऐसा given
अच्छा.
था कि 10 तो by default है.
Yeah.
So
But I think
that
it
is,
has more to do with Chinnaswamy than the bowlers. But
I think
हाँ,
that is something now you can't
but you can't complain about it. And
complain.
totally, you
It's
pick the
there. You
city.
knew,
हाँ,
yeah,
हाँ,
you knew the
yeah.
occasion, and you,
And also, bro, that is the reason why तुम लोग के batting stats इतने अच्छे. That is
of
also something
course,
you have to consider.
it's, yeah,
कि
yeah, yeah.
हाँ, so that is also benefiting you. I remember Gambhir had mentioned this once that you always talk about ABD and these players. You don't speak about Raina enough, but Raina
Mm.
plays in a pitch majorly in a majorly in Chepauk, which is
Yeah,
not benefiting batters much.
yeah.
But ये लोग खेलते हैं चिन्नस्वामी में जहां पर बेनिफिट होता जाता है.
Mm.
But I think another complaint that RCB fans usually have is that we don't have a bowling attack. Dude, 15 साल हो गए. Build one. You can't just be crying about the same excuse. मतलब
See, I think
ऑक्शंस
they're
हो
they're
गए
they're
टीम्स.
probably stuck
या
at the thought that they had in the very first auction in terms of taking names. I
हाँ,
often feel they don't look at the game; they look at the name.
हाँ.
So
This is across the RCB culture is what I would say. Be it in WPL where Mandana, Elise Perry,
in terms of
right?
comparisons, you'll probably say this is probably the season for Siraj to really lead this attack because this attack is very inexperienced. You have
Yeah, because
Alzari or
Alzari,
Loki,
हाँ, right.
whoever plays. You have Yash Dayal or Vaishak who had a decent domestic season, and then you have Mayank Dagar who they've come in. Yeah, Karan Sharma. It isn't an attack
The
that is going to
bowling is
scare you.
horrible. Yeah, I
हाँ,
mean, it
मतलब
is
बोलने में
pathetic.
भी
Yeah.
डर नहीं लग रहा है कि हाँ
हाँ,
ये है तो they will need the batting to
yeah.
they'll
But
probably
what
have
do
to
you think,
outbat
bro?
teams in that sense.
Management का क्या strategy है? मतलब you saw the auctions as well. They were not even bidding or going for these players all out, which didn't make sense at all, right?
I
Or
mean,
have they
it is
given up कि चिन्नस्वामी है तो 200 तो I mean 200 तो जाने ही वाला है. उससे अच्छा build a batting lineup which can chase down.
outbat.
Or
Yeah, I mean
is
that
that the
could
logic?
see which is why I said कि अगर पैट कमिंस वहाँ पे आ जाता ना तो in that price
हाँ,
I would have wanted to see the next steps that they would have had to take
हाँ.
to complete that attack. But it just tells you sometimes auction dynamics do not work in your favor. But
Hmm.
then, as you rightly said, it's not a first time problem. It's been there
15
for you
साल 16 साल
since
हाँ.
almost a decade now. So
Yeah.
I think they fail to at times just identify and see that is something that also happens with conditions, right? Chinnaswamy
Hmm.
is very difficult to crack. And the
हाँ,
one bowler who cracked it, you I mean it did not work out in terms of keeping him with you.
हाँ.
So that also plays a massive part in terms of building an attack
Hmm,
around it.
hmm, hmm,
So I mean this season I don't think they have any option but to
hmm, hmm.
outbat sides. I don't think और थोड़ा अगर help रहेगा in other
Yeah.
venues, then that's where they'll have to hope that Alzari, Siraj, they all have times of their lives to
To
bring them the cup.
actually excel. Yeah, I think leadership Faf has done well in the recent
Yeah.
years because I've seen RCB fans appreciate him that अभी थोड़ा एक अलग approach से हम लोग जाते हैं. But let's see where they would finish. Where do you think they'll finish? Let's go for some predictions.
यार आरसीबी है तो इट हैज टू बी समथिंग क्लोज ओनली क्योंकि दैट्स हाउ इट इवेंचुअली एंड्स अप कि भाई फोर्थ
हाँ,
फिफ्थ सिक्स पे मारामारी हो जाती है
हाँ.
इट
नेट
वुड
रन
बी
रेट
ग्रेट
पे फिर चार
हाँ
20 रन से जीतो,
yeah,
14 ओवर्स में चेस करो. हाँ.
yeah, A to beat C, C to beat E, E to
हाँ,
beat
हाँ,
F, and
that's
all of that as well.
yeah.
I think see if the batting
Sixth.
clicks, then yeah, I think it'll probably be around there unless
Yeah.
somebody from the top four that we expect them to be there and they
Mhm.
do not find a way to click.
Yeah.
Then I think RCB, if they have a good batting season, they could
Mhm.
sleep because bowling, I don't know. I don't know what could be a good bowling season. But a
Yeah.
good batting season could have Faf, Virat,
Yeah.
Rajat,
हाँ, dude,
everybody
everyone
scoring,
clicking. Yeah, yeah.
everyone clicking. So
You don't
that
even
I
need
think,
entire lineup to click. Just 2-3 भी click हो गए ना हर मैच,
yeah,
तो भी
six,
problem is solved.
yeah, six
Yeah.
very good options there. Six
Yeah.
में से चार भी चलते हैं तीन. Again, it is high demand, but then you'll
Yeah.
need to qualify for playoffs. I think fifth, sixth is
Yeah.
probably where they'll end up. If they have a
Okay.
great bowling season, तो फिर playoff. उसके बाद
Playoffs तो
तो then
पक्का है फिर हाँ. If they
yeah,
because batting is sorted, fielding का ठीक है that happens up
yeah,
and down throughout the season. Bowling, if
yeah,
they have a great season, definitely the top four.
yeah,
But it looks very much unlikely. So I think I'll
yeah,
put it like you said in sixth position.
yeah.
Uh, who would be the X factor this season? Siraj? I think अगर
Yeah.
Siraj does it for the bowling, I think RCB is going to win it. Win it doesn't make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, I know I'm not looking for a clip out of this, but I think this could be the season of 2016 type where Kohli has multiple
Oh,
hundreds.
wow. Okay.
कम से कम 3 centuries what I'm expecting from Virat
हाँ,
because he'll be fresh, fine,
yeah,
fit, and raring to go. We don't next year there is also a mega auction, so most likely.
hmm. But
So
do
we
you
don't.
foresee Virat, Rohit, and let's say the main Indian playing 11 to be playing up till the very end of the season because World T20 is just around the corner? I would like to watch Bumrah being rested just before the World T20. To be frank,
Yeah, so I'll
yeah.
then take out my favorite meme. जो आप कह रहे हो वो सुनने के लिए बहुत बढ़िया है
हाँ, लेकिन practical नहीं
but
है यार,
practical
dude.
नहीं है. So
Yeah.
that is that. So I
Hmm.
see, even if Virat plays 10 games, I expect him to score 3 tons. That is what they may be very very high, but I
Yeah.
just feel uh, see he's no he's the kind of person who can lift a side. He's the
Yeah.
kind of person who
Yeah.
can make their bowling attack look threatening by just giving them that much energy and passion.
Pump up.
Just
Yeah.
just as a player, he doesn't even have to be the captain to do that.
Yeah.
So uh, I'll probably go with Kohli as the. It is stupid and surprising to say Kohli as the X factor, but I think he could really have a great season. Hopefully,
Okay. And where do you what rating would you give them out of 10? I would
slightly.
have given them 7, but because of bowling, I might drop it down to 6 or 5,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. I was in the same dilemma because 5 or 6. See, the bowling attack is something that you feel it could really be
A
no
big
a
problem,
letdown.
yeah.
Yeah, a
It's not even a
letdown.
decent bowling कि कुछ कर सकते. It's like,
Yeah.
wait, seriously, them and
You need
Chinnaswamy,
a
which is making things even more
हाँ,
difficult for
तो the
them.
conditions and
Yeah,
the attack makes you feel कि सब कुछ has to work in your favor
yeah.
for
It's like
this.
Doctor Strange का वो one possibility out of
हाँ,
this कि ये सब perfect होना
एग्जैक्ट
चाहिए.
हाँ,
हाँ,
तो फिर आपका सही जाएगा. तो I think yeah, I'll
हाँ,
probably go to 6, maybe just
yeah.
hopefully they can come good and we can have a good entertaining season.
एब्सोल्युटली सो गाइस आप लोग भी जाओ कमेंट करो और बताओ आपके हिसाब से जो 5 टीम्स के हम लोगों ने प्रेडिक्शंस डाले एक्स फैक्टर
Yeah.
चूज किए व्हाट हु वुड बी द एक्स फैक्टर फॉर ईच ऑफ दोस टीम्स व्हाट वुड बी द प्रेडिक्शंस कि वेयर वुड दे फिनिश बाय द एंड ऑफ द सीजन एंड which player is going to stand out from each and every team. So let us know in the comments, hit like, comment, share and subscribe, and do keep commenting and engaging because we would love to have you on the show as well. And stay tuned for the next episode जहां पर हम लोग बात करेंगे about the remaining teams, which of course include my MI and his CSK and our other beloved teams as well, like Punjab Kings, there's a few other teams as well.